there has been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky, more slow-moving objects above our country, around the world.
There's objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain.
Aliens having visited Earth, although that's what I spend my life. So much out there in the universe, aliens exist somewhere.
Have you ever seen something so strange it left you completely baffled? You're not alone. Scientists around the world have experienced this same sense of wonder when encountering natural phenomena they simply can't explain. Science is all about uncovering the mysteries of our world, yet sometimes nature itself remains beyond understanding. In this video, we dive into 20 strange natural phenomena that have left scientists scratching their heads. Number 20. Frozen methane bubbles. Abraham Lake in Canada is a popular winter destination for tourists and photographers because of its exceptional natural occurrence. The reservoir in the Canadian province of Alberta is famous for its frozen bubbles, which are most frequently visible from mid-January to early February. White bubbles develop in the clear, dark ice and provide an amazing picture in the appropriate lighting and weather. This lake has been experiencing consistently low temperatures for weeks, and some areas of the lake have already frozen over. The past few days have seen temperatures drop to below -30 degrees Celsius, and later in the season gives the best circumstances because the 28,968.2-meter-long lake has not yet completely frozen over as it is still early in the winter. Methane, not air, is trapped in the ice bubbles, caused by bacteria from decaying vegetation at the lake's bottom, which releases it when it breaks down and creates bubbles in the water. When the bubbles are trapped in the ice, hanging just below the water surface, and as temperatures decrease over the winter, the smaller methane bubbles then expand and freeze in the icy lake as they ascend to the surface. Vertical stacks of ice bubbles frozen in time form while the lake keeps freezing. These organic marvels are also well known to come from Lake Baikal in Siberia. Number 19. The River of Five Colors. Cano Cristales, also called the River of Five Colors, is widely regarded as the most breathtaking natural attraction in Colombia. The river can be found in the mountain range known as the Serranía de la Macarena, and it captivates with its incredible colors. Vibrant colors of yellow, green, blue, black, and red vibrate from the bottom of the river. The extraordinary phenomenon, known as the liquid rainbow, is brought on by the growth of a red plant known as Macarenia clavidura in the riverbed. The combination of black rocks, green algae, blue water, and golden sand creates an iridescent effect, resulting in additional hues. The river, which already has a dramatic presence, is made much more so by waterfalls, pools, and tunnels. In addition, there are no fish or other organisms in the water of Cano Cristales, which means that tourists can enjoy an undisturbed swim. How exactly do you get there? Well, that is a really difficult assignment. You should get to Villavicencio from Bogotá via bus or plane. From Villavicencio, get a plane to La Macarena, where you can experience the services of a guide to take you to the river from this location. Number 18. Ice tsunamis along Lake Erie. A spectacular phenomenon described as an ice tsunami occurred along the Lake Erie shorelines because the gusts were so strong that slabs of ice rushed over the shoreline and built walls as high as 9.144 meters. These terrifying ice tsunamis, some large enough to topple lampposts and retaining walls, are not advertising gimmicks for Game of Thrones' concluding season. They are ice debris pushed to shore by exceptionally powerful winds. Winds of at least 60 miles per hour have been battering the Great Lakes region, disrupting power and delaying aviation travel. Widespread ice flows can be seen clogging up beaches, highways, and even some lakeside homes in images posted on social media and by local emergency services. According to Dave Schultz, a Hoover Beach, New York resident, we've seen hurricanes in the past, but nothing like this. We've never had the ice pushed right up into our patios and against the walls. However, these ice tsunamis have happened before. Historically, an unidentified American naturalist described seeing rocks on level ground take up a leisurely line of march and overcoming every impediment in well escaping the reign of Neptune in 1822, which is when the scientific study of these occurrences began. Since 1825, researchers in Earth's northern latitudes have discovered that the movement of lake ice can propel these roving stones. Number 17. Door to Hell, Gate of Hell. Around 270 kilometers from Ashgabat, Turkmenistan's capital, is the enormous smoldering gas crater known as the Gate of Hell in the heart of the Karakum Desert. The gas crater is 5,350 square meters in size, with a depth of 30 meters and a circumference of 69 meters. When a Soviet drilling rig unintentionally entered a sizable underground natural gas cavern in 1971, the Soviets lit the hole on fire to regulate the gas leak in the hopes that it would go out in a few weeks. Or at least that's the supposed story. But 50 years on, it is still blazing. The enormous crater is situated in the Karakum Desert, which covers over 70% of Turkmenistan. The fourth largest natural gas deposit is found right here in Turkmenistan. A natural gas resource is just beneath the Darvaza crater in the Ahal area. Since the origin of this crater has been the subject of years-long debate, no one is entirely certain of its exact cause. However, it has been burning since 1971. The crazy thing is, even to this day, it is still burning. Number 16. Singing sand. Sand that makes sound is called singing sand, whistling sand, or barking sand. The sound emission can be caused by stepping on the sand or wind blowing across the dunes. To produce sound, the sand grains are uniformly shaped and have a diameter between 0.1 and 0.5 millimeters, including silica grains under certain humidity. It appears that 450 Hz is the frequency most frequently transmitted. The mechanism behind singing sand is the subject of numerous theories. It has been suggested that the shear rate regulates the sound frequency. Others have suggested that the sand's dry surface layer's thickness and vibration frequency are connected. The resonance that results from the sound waves' back and forth motion between the dune's surface and the damp layer beneath amplifies the sound's volume. The sound made by the booming, squeaking, or roaring of dunes is an example of this rare phenomenon. This 105 decibel natural sound phenomenon can linger for several minutes, and it happens in roughly 35 desert regions worldwide. It sounds like a big, low-pitched rumble, which is frequently caused by wind moving over the dune or someone strolling close to the summit, causing the sand to fall or avalanche. Now it's time for today's topic. In a bizarre event that has left onlookers in awe, strange glowing objects were spotted falling from the sky over a busy coastal city. Captured in shocking footage, the fiery lights filled the night sky, cascading downwards like an otherworldly meteor shower. Witnesses initially believed it was a fireworks display gone awry or perhaps a military exercise, but as more reports came in, it became clear that no official explanation was available. Crowds gathered along the waterfront, gazing in both fear and fascination as the glowing orbs continued their descent. Some witnesses claimed the objects emitted a low humming noise, further heightening the sense of unease. Local authorities have cordoned off the area, but no official statement has been released regarding the mysterious phenomenon. Speculations are running wild, with some theorizing that the lights could be debris from a satellite, while others suggest extraterrestrial involvement. Experts are currently analyzing the footage, trying to determine the nature and origin of the strange lights. As more information surfaces, one thing is clear: whatever fell from the sky has left an entire city shaken and searching for answers. Could this be a sign of something bigger on the horizon? The truth behind these strange falling objects remains a mystery. Number 15. Green Flash. The Green Hornet and the Green Lantern are made-up superheroes who evade capture regularly, but despite not being a superhero, the Green Flash can be just as elusive. It can be a lifelong pursuit for some people to get a glimpse of it. When conditions are right, a mirage and sunlight dispersion combine to create the Green Flash, an optical phenomenon at sunset and sunrise. The light is scattered through the Earth's atmosphere like a prism, and as the sun descends below the horizon, there will occasionally be a brief flash of green as the light moves through the spectrum. Because the flash depends on a variation in astronomical refraction close to the horizon, a mirage is also required to observe the phenomenon. There are 4 different kinds of green flashes, each depending on a particular mirage. First off, you get the inferior mirage, or IMER, typically visible with the unaided eye just before the sun is about to set, similar to the mirage that may be seen over hot asphalt. The IMER appearing mock mirage is the second one, also called mimir, which is brought on by an inversion of the air temperature. The third is the subduct flash, where a mirage turns the upper half of the setting sun green for up to 15 seconds and creates the appearance of an hourglass. And finally, there's the extremely uncommon green ray, a beam of green light that emerges from a green flash or is visible as the sun sets. The green ray has rarely been captured on camera before. Number 14. Blood Falls. Blood Falls, so named because of its crimson hue, is not a bloody gusher from some hidden wound, nor is it a level from Doom 2, but that's not the point. We're talking about a different kind of blood falls. The hue was originally attributed to red algae. However, a research study published in the Journal of Glaciology used radars to analyze the ice strata from which the river flows to determine its exact source. A group of scientists from National Geographic's Emerging Explorer made the finding. The falls, which originate from Taylor Glacier in Antarctica's McMurdo Dry Valleys, release water that rises through cracks in the glacier's surface. With average temperatures at -17 degrees Celsius and little visible glacial melting at the surface, the flow was previously a mystery. A complex network of subglacial rivers and a subglacial lake, both filled with brine rich in iron, responsible for the crimson hue of the fall, were revealed by imaging beneath the glacier, which helped solve the puzzle. The relationship between brine content and water temperature was also discovered. The glacier has numerous little and large cracks that allow the brine to enter. Then, the brine starts to freeze, and the latent heat warms the ice surrounding it, increasing the concentration of brine in the center of the fissures. Still got your attention? I bet it does. Number 13. Pink Lake. The archipelago is located off the south coast of Western Australia in the Goldfields Esperance region. Lake Hillier, a saltwater lake located on the outskirts of Middle Island, stands out in particular for being pink. The lake and the Southern Ocean are separated by a long and narrow shore. Lake Hillier has a length of around 600 meters and a width of about 250 meters. The lake's northern side is separated from Middle Island's northern coast by a thin strip of dunes covered in vegetation. Around the lake are sand dunes and thick forests of eucalyptus trees and paperbark. The lake's vivid pink color is its most distinguishing characteristic, and the vibrant color remains constant even when the water is taken in a container. The organism thought to cause the pink color was subjected to a metagenomic analysis by the Extreme Microbiome Project, a division of the Association of Biomolecular Resource Facilities, ABRF, which discovered Salinobacter rubor, Dichloromonas aromatica, as well as Dunaliella and a few other species of the archaea. Lake Hillier is safe to swim in despite its high salt content levels similar to the Dead Sea. However, it is not advised nor permitted without prior authorization from the Western Australia Department of Environment Conservation. Also, don't try and drink from it. It does not taste like pink lemonade, although I kind of wish it did. Number 12. Eucalyptus Dupta. Native to the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, Eucalyptus Dupta is a type of tall tree also known as the Mindanao gum, or rainbow eucalyptus. It's the only eucalyptus species with a natural range encompassing the northern hemisphere and typically inhabiting rainforest. It is distinguished by its multicolored bark. A fast-growing tree, Eucalyptus Dupta normally grows to a height of 60 to 75 meters with a trunk that may reach 2.4 meters in diameter and buttresses that can reach over 4 meters in length. Its smooth, orange-tinted bark sheds in strips, exposing light green, red, orange, gray, and purplish-brown striations. The leaves are grouped in opposite pairs on a short petiole. Each branch of the branching inflorescence has groups of 7 flower buds, each on a pedestal that is about 5 millimeters long. The flower buds are grouped in a branching inflorescence in the axils of the leaves or at the end of the branchlet. Mature buds have a hemispherical operculum with a little point on top and are light green or cream in hue. They are about spherical in shape with diameters between 0.002 to 0.005 meters. The fruit is a hemispherical woody brown capsule, with 3 or 4 valves protruding from the fruit's rim. In each fruit cell, there are roughly between 3 to 12 tiny brown, wingless seeds. Number 11. Morning glory clouds. A low-level air single wave and its associated cloud make up the unusual meteorological phenomenon known as the morning glory cloud, which is occasionally seen in different parts of the world. The wave frequently manifests as bands of roll clouds formed by amplitude-ordered waves. The region's combination of land and sea makes the southern part of the Gulf of Carpentaria in northern Australia the only known place where it can be anticipated and routinely observed. A roll cloud, also known as an Arcus cloud or morning glory cloud, can be up to 1 million meters long, 1,000 to 2,000 meters high, and frequently over 100 to 200 meters above the Earth's surface. The cloud frequently moves between 10 and 20 meters per second. There might just be one cloud at a time, or up to 10 roll clouds in a row. The cloud can also be compared to an undulate bore, a wave with only one crest that flows without altering speed or shape. They are often nicknamed the largest waves in the sky, and some have even called them the largest waves in the world. The wave can happen even if no clouds are visible. Number 10. Star jelly. The sun, meteors, and other objects in the sky are all made of the wonderful, sticky substance known as star jelly. This star jelly from these cosmic objects descends gently to Earth, forming gelatinous lumps in Scottish parks as it disintegrates. I bet you expected we'd provide you with some absurd paranormal explanation. Well, it's actually very reasonable. This weird, gooey substance has been observed in numerous locations, not just Scotland. People from Texas have observed strange slime on the ground. In some cases, witnesses have even dared to speculate that a nearby meteor was the cause. While it has been difficult to explain occurrences like angel's hair, a substance that is said to fall from the sky in wisps but has no meteorological or scientific explanation, mostly because no witness has ever had this substance examined, star jelly is completely different. It has been seen in various locations. Sadly, that doesn't appear to be anything that even comes near angelic tears or meteor snot. Even though the origin tale is false, the content is true. So what exactly is it? Unfortunately, the solution is amphibious but much more terrestrial, resembling frog spawn. Yes, all we find are frogs or toads whose corpses have likely been torn apart by predators, exposing and expelling their ovum goo. As dew or rainwater is absorbed, the material then expands significantly. So that's the not as impressive reality. And don't even think about slapping this on a slice of toast. Number 9. The eternal flame falls. A little flickering flame may be seen in one of the caves at the 10,668-meter cascade, Eternal Flame Falls, which is thought to have been ignited by Native Americans thousands of years ago. Scientists have long believed that the shale bedrock's old, incredibly hot gas pockets allow the fire to burn. Shale's carbon molecules are broken down by the rock's high temperatures, producing natural gas. However, Indiana University scientists discovered that the shale beneath the waterfall is neither hot nor cold enough to be the source of gas pockets. These seeps and flames have been present there for millions of years, and we know that the source rock is located about 400 meters below the surface. You shouldn't be able to produce much gas at this temperature, and yet it does so anyway, and it's still not running out. The theory that scientists have come up with is that a separate mechanism causes the ongoing gas creation at depth. In other words, something else must be sustaining the everlasting flame, but the very nature of that so-called something else is still a mystery to experts. Number 8. Spotted Lake. The Spotted Lake, which lies in Canada's Okanagan Valley, has the shape of a spotted leopard pattern. It is referred to as the most magical sight in Canada and is one of the world's amazing wonders. At first glance, it appears to be just another lake, but throughout the summer, when the majority of the water evaporates, hundreds of large salty pools remain. It contains many minerals in hues of blue and yellow. Due to the lake's severe salinity, very little life persists. For the nearby First Nation peoples, this lake is a beautiful natural feature and a significant historical and spiritual location. The lake has a surface size of about 15 square meters and is only about 3 meters deep at its deepest point. The mineral deposits that have accumulated along Spotted Lake's margins are what give it its distinctive appearance. These deposits result from centuries of precipitation and evaporation, creating a magnificent mosaic of colored dots. The patches are mineral deposits formed by the lake water's high concentrations of salt and minerals. Calcium, magnesium, sodium, and sulfate are among the minerals found in the lake. As the lake water evaporates, these minerals are concentrated, leaving behind a layer of vibrant salts and minerals. Spotted Lake is an amazing geological marvel that sheds light on the intricate relationships between water and minerals. Visitors and experts alike have been amazed and moved by its mineral-rich waters and distinctive patterns. Number 7. Fly Geyser in Nevada. In the early 20th century, a farmer just wanted to find water, but what happened next surprised the whole world. He thought a well was needed to water and nourish his crops. He had no idea what was underneath. Problems arose when he dug a deep well. He found water deep underground, but hot water over 200 degrees was a problem preventing well construction. He closed his business and had to forego his intentions to supply the region with water. In 1964, a team with better drilling technology arrived to dig a successful well, but they couldn't handle the hot water, thus their plans failed. Drilling was abandoned immediately. The 1964 crew's poor drilling seal caused a tiny geyser, and under all of the pressure, heat, gases, water, minerals, and nutrients rose to the surface. This tiny geyser grew rapidly, generating something unexpected. It's no simple geyser. Fly Geyser pushes nutrient-rich water above the earth. When nutrients and minerals gathered, they built the multicolored mountain that is continually developing. After encountering burning hot water, drillers uncovered the Nevada Fly Geyser. After the activity stopped, a spectacular natural monument appeared and has since grown and changed. Mineral-rich water created a bright mineral mountain. The mountain of minerals has generated something amazing. Besides the gorgeous mound, Nevada's Fly Geyser's incredible water formations have created a unique environment. Number 6. Glowing Beach. The Maldives' Ra Atoll includes Vadhu Island. Although it has a small population, the island chain's most famous beach has helped it grow into a well-liked tourist attraction. Tiny bacteria that are frequently mistaken for phytoplankton blanket this fascinating beach. Ostracod crabs, not phytoplankton, are the aquatic organisms responsible for the phenomenon. Because they glow for seconds or even minutes when they come in contact with the water's surface. These organisms that emit light from chemical energy are bioluminescent and contain a special substance called luciferin. When it contacts oxygen, it triggers a chemical reaction that produces a lovely light. Although the weather in the Maldives is pleasant all year round, you should schedule your trip between June and October to see this breathtaking sight. After arriving in the Maldives, you can take ferries and speedboats to Vadhu Island to see this natural underwater light show. Don't, however, just ride to the island and spend the evenings wandering the beaches in search of the sea of stars. Instead, hire a boat or sign up for a trip that will take you to the sea to see the sights. You can take pictures of these bioluminescent dots of light, but they won't turn out well if you use the same techniques and gear that other tourists use. Use a better phone camera, and you will get the best results. Number 5. Blood rain. A phenomenon known as blood rain, or red rain, causes people to believe that drops of blood are falling from the sky. Since Homer's Iliad, written around the 8th century BC, cases have been documented and were common until the 17th century. The common belief was that the rain was actual blood. The appearance of blood rain was regarded as a bad omen in cult practice, often reflected in literature, where it served as a tool for foreshadowing events, some of which may have been literary devices, but others were actual historical events. There is currently scientific agreement that aerial spores of the green microalga Trentepolia annulata trigger the blood rain phenomenon. Blood rain has only occasionally been observed to cover larger areas, and the duration can vary, sometimes lasting only a short while, and other times for several days. By the 17th century, attempts to explain the occurrence had shifted away from the paranormal toward rational explanations. Blood showers were studied scientifically in the 19th century, and beliefs that dust gave the water its red color gained traction. The two most widely accepted explanations nowadays are that microorganisms or red dust suspended in the water, otherwise known as rain dust, are to blame for this precipitation. Sunspots and auroras are two alternate explanations. Number 4. Starling Murmuration. Large flocks of starlings, known as a murmuration, swoop, swirl, and change shapes as they move across the sky. Small groups of local starlings congregate above a shared roosting location just before dusk. The group expands as they dance in unison in the air, casting beautiful silhouettes against the dwindling light. The term partial migrants refers to birds that migrate to certain locations but not to others, such as starlings. Native starlings typically remain in one place, while those from Eastern Europe's colder regions migrate to warmer areas, increasing the population during the fall and winter to form some pretty amazing flocks. According to scientists, murmurations provide safety in numbers, shielding birds from predators like peregrine falcons, which are drawn to them by their sheer numbers. Since hundreds or even thousands of starlings are swirling around, it can't be easy for a predator to pick out just one of them. How each starling knows which direction to turn without colliding with the others is still a mystery to experts. Always forming over the bird's shared roosting area, murmurations seem directed to funnel toward the ground with a final sweeping motion and calming whoosh as the group hits its highest numbers just as the sunlight begins to fade. The group might congregate for warmth or to discuss the best feeding grounds at a roost, which can be anything from a reed bed to a coastal pier. Number 3. The massive ice penitents. Penitents, also known as neve penitents, are sharp, hardened blades of ice or snow. They can only form above 4,000 meters in South America's dry Andes and always face the sun's general direction. The man who first discovered them was Charles Darwin, who had to navigate them in 1835 while traveling from Santiago, Chile, to Mendoza, Argentina. It makes me wonder if Charles Darwin had travel insurance. But anyway, the white pointed hats worn during the processions of penance in Spanish Holy Week inspire the name. According to Luis Libuitri, the dew point must constantly be below freezing for differential ablation to create penitent. Snow will sublimate as a result. Radiation is trapped by numerous reflections between the walls after differential ablation begins, which is caused by the surface geometry of the growing penitent. With less wind, the hollows practically become a black body for radiation, increasing the dew point temperature and starting melting. Thus, the steep walls that only partially block solar radiation will survive as the peaks, where mass loss is only due to sublimation. Penitents grow more slowly in the troughs because ablation is intensified. Number 2. Ball lightning. Ball lightning is a rare and mysterious phenomenon characterized by luminous spherical orbs ranging in size from a pea to several meters. Although frequently linked to thunderstorms, the observed occurrence is said to last much longer than a typical lightning bolt's split-second flash, making it unique from St. Elmo's fire. According to certain accounts from the 19th century, the balls eventually rupture and leave a sulfurous odor. Scientists have noticed descriptions of ball lightning in various reports throughout history. In January 2014, an optical spectrum of what appears to have been a ball lightning occurrence was published along with a fast-moving video. Similar to ball lightning stories, laboratory tests have produced comparable results, although it's unclear how these relate to the purported occurrence. Over the years, scientists have put forth several theories to explain accounts of ball lightning, but there is still a shortage of solid evidence on the phenomenon. The assumption of its existence has been based on publicly reported sightings, which have led to contradictory results. The existence of ball lightning as a separate physical phenomenon is still uncertain due to the absence of data that can be replicated. Number 1. Earth fissure. On Arizona Trust Land in southern Pinal County, 16,098 meters south-southwest of Picacho Peak State Park, there is a recent 3,218-meter-long earth fissure. This new fissure runs parallel to existing fissures in the Tater Hills Earth Fissure Study region and is roughly north-south oriented. The first cracks were discovered at Tater Hills in 1977. By 2009, Approximately 11,000 meters of fissures had been documented there. The new fissure has a wide range of width and depth along its length, ranging from a shallow crevice up to 3.048 meters wide and 7.62 to 9.144 meters deep to a thin inch-wide crack. This newest fissure is 2,896.82 meters long and more than 1,931.21 meters longer than other recreational fissures. This fissure in the Tater Hills has recently been created, as seen by the lack of flora compared to older fissures. The fissure has started to grow between March 2013 and December 2014, according to AZGS Earth Fissure Program Manager Joe Cook and his analysis of outdated Google Earth photos. Fissuring may have started in the north before moving south and may have happened at the same time as the 2014 floods. The southern part of the fissure predates the imagery from December 2014. Drone video captured on January 19, 2017, by Arizona Department of Water Resources Brian Conway, AZGS's Brian Goatee, and the aforementioned Joe Cook showed the first drone footage of a new Earth fissure in Arizona. While scientists continue to investigate these remarkable occurrences, some still remain an enigma, reminding us of just how powerful and unpredictable nature can be. We hope you enjoyed discovering these incredible events as much as we did. Let us know in the comments which natural phenomenon amazed you the most. We can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take care and enjoy the wonders of the world.